Okay, we're back. All right. I don't know what's going on with YouTube today, but we gonna start again. We gonna start again. I really hate that for me, but I'm gonna trust the process as per usual. We're gonna start in a second. We're gonna start in a second. All right. Friends, you're making it back in, and I love that for us. All right, so. All right. Friends, you're making it back in, and I love that for us. All right, so. Give me 1 second to mute this mic. You guys like my hair? That's what we were talking about before we got so rudely disrupted by that feedback. Thank y'all for being patient and for circling back. Hey, boo, hey. Can we just start with a quiet feature of Essentia? Essentia is a intentional jewelry line made by none other than the Aura of Essence. This piece is mine. This piece is mine. But this piece is made by the Aura of Essence. Aren't they cute though? For real. Shout out to E. Y'all interested? Y'all like what you see? Sorry, let me just use this as my mirror, okay? Let's just use this as my mirror for a second, okay? Because again, I just get ready and then show up. I don't actually be doing the full look over all the time like people supposed to do. All right. That sound thing kind of threw me off, so I have to feel back into my How about we start with welcome to the morning message. I feel so grateful, so good in my body. I feel so free. I feel happy. I feel contented. I feel satisfied with life. Good morning, y'all. How you doing? How you feeling? Like for real, how you feeling in your body? How you feeling in your mind? How's your heart, as they say? How you feeling? I welcome you to share a word or a few words in the chat. And I know I don't say this enough, and I'm going to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me, but just hang with me 1 second. I'm going to say this before I even introduce myself for those of you who might be new here, even those of you who frequent this space, all right, even quietly. I want this to be a communal space. Yes, I'm an intuitive. You are too. And in time, you'll come to really embrace that more and more and more and more. But for now, you'll sit and watch me channel message, okay? But it's very much before we get started, like have a mindful moment. We need to have a mindful moment so that you all know what this really is. Because this is not a performance. This is not for just your entertainment. And I say just because I think I'm funny. I like to kiki and haha. And so there is a part of that, but I need you to know what is actually happening here is we are building community. In our quiet way. We don't all have to know each other. You don't have to even like each other. But just know that when you come into this space right here, that we are here together. This is not just an outward pour. There's energy exchange that happens here. We are building community. So when you hear me ask questions and ask you to ask yourself questions, okay, y'all gonna get sick of me, okay? Because I'm gonna do it, all right? I'm gonna do it every time because it feels like I need to do it, all right? So there's that. But yeah, for real. It's like when I ask rhetorical questions in this space, I do want you to be silent in your answer, but don't be afraid to be public in your declaration, okay? Because when I ask questions about certain things, it's not just for me to have something to say. It really is something coming through for you to chew on. And the best way you can chew on that, especially when it comes to declaring and discerning all the little parts of what you want and what you want to be and what you need to do and all that kind of stuff, this is the place to say those things out loud. So this is not even just like, oh, let me engage Allah-mi on this chat. This is like when she asks questions about different aspects of what might be relative to my life, for me to speak it out loud, declare it. To be brazen, to be bold, to be direct, to let the universe know what it is that you're trying to bring in or take out. Okay? Shit. Okay? It is for you to not just show up here and listen and, you know, take in whatever good word touches you. And my human self loves that. But spiritually, when you come into this space over here, you got to know that there is an exchange that happens. Okay? Unless there's an exchange, there's no transformation for you. And that's why I'm actually here. That's why I'm here. I'm here for your transformation to take place in your time, in your season, on your terms. But that's what this is about. Building transformative community. I should probably do a better job of writing that in the description, right? That's not in the description. It is in the everydayers though. Shout out to my everydayers who tap in and listen to the messages. Those of you who don't know, I do have an intentional living community. Myself and Victoria are stewarding a quiet space of intentional people who are really wanting to do things differently and wanting to learn more about themselves so that they can choose differently. Okay. And so that is what the Everydayers Intentional Living Community is about at its essence. It is about being with like-minded people who are speaking the same language about growth, expansion, you know, achievement, expression, right? Well-being. Isn't that crazy? We don't even talk about well-being enough. All right. But those of you who don't know, my name is Allah-mi Basheer. I am an intuitive self-mastery coach. I'm an executive coach. I work with people every day to help them move beyond all kinds of blocks and barriers, mental challenges in terms of mindset, emotional blocks in terms of things they need to release, and helping people really become more aware of their choices and their patterns, their routines, their habits that create what we call life. So, okay, I told y'all. And you know what? It's gonna work, because look, the ring. Come on, rain. Woo! Don't play with, ha! Y'all go to begreateveryday.com. Okay, so, yeah, and I'll say that again. Go to begreateveryday.com. Okay. If you want to book a human design reading to learn more about yourself and your habits that are internal, the ones you don't notice, the patterns you're unconscious of and that you don't always see, those are the things that your human design chart will real boldly reveal to you. And I say boldly, it's very I can't even speak. It's very confrontational, very confronting. I always say that. It's very confronting when you explore your human design because you can't deny it. It's undeniable, in fact. It is you in a nutshell. And yeah, all I can say is the insight is very transformative if you are so willing to engage yourself. All right, so what are we talking about today? Let me ground in the energy a little bit more. You see me, so for those of you who don't know, again, as an intuitive, it is more comfortable for me when I just allow my gaze to naturally go where it wants to go, and it doesn't necessarily just want to stare at a camera. It's like as my gaze drifts off, I'm able to then go into my unconscious mind, what I'm not noticing as I'm talking to you actively. When I stop and I tap into that awareness of what else chatter is going on in there, that's when the intuitive quote message begins, okay? So for those of you who are wanting to learn more about how you can be more tapped into your intuition, I'm giving you some of the nuances of the experience, okay? And it's not to say it's literally one size fits all, but I haven't heard it said otherwise that people go inward in order to feel. You know, you have to go inward in order to know what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. You got to go inward to notice what that is. So that tapping in experience is what I'm describing, okay? Tune in, assess, and then proceed. Assess, okay? Tap in, T-A-P, tune in, assess, proceed, okay? So, yeah, there's all kind of fun in knowing and learning that part about yourself that can be found in your human design as well. What blocks you have to your natural sense of knowing, okay? It's not just because you're an overthinker that you don't hear, okay? That is an expression of it, but you may be designed in a certain configuration that makes that your natural default. It's not just you trying to be neurotic, okay? You're not trying to overthink what you're hearing right now. It's just you got to know what filters you got to bypass in yourself, okay? Or what centers you got to bypass. That's the language of human design, centers, okay? All right, so Phyllis says the sound sounds better. Good morning, Phil. All right, ready for your morning message. Feeling fantastic, yeah. Okay, I'm feeling, that's a great word. I was gonna say amazing, but I like fantastic. That's not a word that I use a lot. So I dig that. All right, so let me get into the message deeper. I'm still chit-chatting. Let me get into it deeper. I had a note on the other episode, and I think I do want to continue with that topic. Yeah, deeper. Like, as in, get started. All right. So I don't remember what the other topic was that I initially had written down, and I can pull it up, but I feel like I'm being moved away from it. And I want to talk about just growth in general. We're going to get to the specifics, but let's just start with the big picture of the notion of growth. You say growth of what? Anything. Think about the growth of anything, okay? Whether you, and I'm channeling this, so I don't even know where this is going, okay? Oh my God, I'm gonna get on my own nerves. I'm gonna have to take this headband off because this is gonna be a lot for all of us this all day for like the next hour, really. Yes. Okay, let's talk about growth. Okay, growth of anything, a business, a child, a vegetable, a tree, a relationship, anything. We just talking about growth. Okay, the process of something growing. Isn't that interesting how I just named off a bunch of different kinds of things and they all represent this notion of growth? We can talk about eggs, we can talk about chickens, we can talk about businesses, we can talk about hair, we can talk about babies. We can talk about mindset. We can talk about choices. We can talk about beliefs, or values. It's like growth is a process in and of itself. Okay? Okay. Okay, let me just kind of hold with me, please. The process of growth in and of itself. Hear the word, process. Process. Those of you who like to take notes, feels like a good day as we're talking about growth and the process of growth, okay? So I feel like I got to do a lot of, what's the word? Etymology? I don't know. I don't even know the word. They're trying to give it to me, but I don't trust. I don't want to sound stupid because I don't use this word either. Is it etymology? Like the language? Okay. Pay attention to this language. I don't know. Just pay attention to the language, okay? So we're talking about growth and growth of anything being a process, okay? And when we get to the word process, what is process? Something has a before, a during, and an after, okay? So if we're doing just deductive reasoning and basic math, growth has a before, a during, and an after. Okay, we all on the same page? Are we doing it? I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it, okay? The process of growth has a before, a during, and an after. Okay? Anything. Pick anything from the list we just went through, okay? Pick anything. Before, during, and after. Okay, now, class, let's apply this to you, okay? And your growth, okay? In any way you want to look at your life and your growth, okay? Whether it be growth of your... I was going to say something naughty. I'm not going to say that. Your booty, okay? Your muscles, okay? Your new plants, vegetables, tree, your weed, okay? Your toenails. I know. Any and all of the things go through this whole process before, during, after. All of you, like every piece and parcel of you has these stages, okay? New language, stages, okay? Whew, okay? Your growth is a process that has a before, a during, and an after that happens in these distinct stages. Any and all of you, okay? From the way you make decisions to the way you develop relationship to the way you build self-confidence to the way you increase your income to like we can do this for a lifetime, okay? Your growth happens in stages. Before, during, after. okay? And it's not like the totality of you is going in these 3 distinct stages, like everything's happening at the same time. It's like you are growing in one way here and another way over there. You may need some work over there, but you're growing over here too. It's like there are parts of you that are in different stages of this process. So there are certain things that you used to do before that now you don't do. You don't do those things anymore. And so now after you now no longer do those things, there is a new call to action. You've grown. So now it's time to be different. There's a different these stages, growth, okay? When anything grows, it doesn't look different from in the after than it did when it first started. It's different. Okay? There's a marked difference. So it's like, where are you? What stage are you in? What are the things that you are actively, consciously choosing to grow in? Because you got to notice these things. These things don't just exist in a vacuum. It's like you got to notice growth. you got to notice growth, okay? It doesn't exist. You're unaware of it, okay? So there are pieces and parts of you that have grown. You don't do what you used to do before, and now you do it different. You've grown. But there's some part of you that is not aware of it. It's like you need to pay attention to how you've grown, what you've grown, what areas of your life you've grown in. What areas of your life have you grown in? You got to pay attention. And for the areas that you may feel that there is need for more growth, what stage of the process are you in? Oh man, I love this conversation. I love it though, because it really puts us in the driver's seat of accountability to move the needle. Where are you at? You still in your before? Okay. You can stay in your before, or you can get in to doing the work of what growth requires. You know, things like discomfort, risk, change, right? Willingness, all that shit is in growth, right? That's when you in it. We in it. And then once you start to see that you no longer do those things anymore and you are actively growing, that means now you're shifting. When you get into the ing of a thing, you're doing it, ing. It is happening in real time, okay? And it's an active action, ing, kids, okay? And ing. When you see ing in the suffix of a word, that makes reference to something being in motion. It is happening, okay? And when it starts happening, now you are naturally shifting yourself, you're catapulting yourself forward into what we call after, which is just next, because we never stop that process. It's next to start that cycle again and again and again. ing, growing, over and over and over again. You know, look, okay, let's slow down for a second. Y'all like this video if y'all vibing with the combo. Peep this out for a second. You ever meet somebody who's like stubborn as hell and they real small-minded as fudge, and they just are really kind of what's the word? There's a certain word I want to use. I'll say uncompromising. How about that? No, because that can be based on values. It's like they are unwilling to take in new information. They feel like they know it all. Okay? They know it all. They don't need you to tell them, fuck what you're talking about. I don't care. Yeah, that's not for me. Whatever. Okay? And I'm not talking about values based, because we went to get to values. People have different values and they stand on business for their values. I stand on business for my values. Okay? And it is a thing to still be open minded. Okay? But some people have a real hard time with being open minded. I actually feel like that's one of my quiet strengths, is being able to see, maybe that's my Gemini energy, to be able to see two sides of a situation, to hold space for there being a potential other way or other perspective or whatever the thing is. My brain naturally works in that kind of dichotomous or kind of multiplicitous way. And that comes more natural to me, and that's not to say I'm always, I miss it sometimes. Sometimes I be stuck in, my ego mind about what I think and la 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 la. Okay, so you ever have that experience though with someone who's really like, you can't get a message through? You can't get a message through. It's like they are unwilling to grow. Unwilling. You see this a lot, and shout out to all my, religious folks who pop in here quietly, but really if you can't talk about coming to watch the lady do the oracle readings on the internet and channeling messages, you can't go to talk to your church friends about that, but you be here anyway. But shout out to you and thank you for joining. But sorry, that was funny. I had to stop and laugh at myself that I just said all that. Crystal, don't laugh. It's no shade. It's all love. We just gonna call a spade up in here. We just gonna talk about what it really is, okay? Some of y'all can't go back and talk to your peoples about, getting tarot card readings and, channeling messages and getting downloads and shit. Like, all right, I done lost my damn train of thought now. All right, it'll come back. That's funny though. There's an epidemic of that too. But what was there's somewhere I was going with religion. I lost it. All right, moving on. I tickled myself all up out of the channeled message. I don't know where it was going. And I'm not a pretender. When I tell you these messages are channeled, I'm barely hearing it as I'm saying it because more energy is flooding in. So it's quite a experience to channel and receive at the same time. It's almost like being on tape delay. And I don't know where the message... I should actually create a contest where people have to count how many times I flip this damn scarf like it's hair. Okay, that should be a thing. Let's see if I can work it out. Where are you at in your growth process? What areas of your life are you consciously and intentionally growing, doing the work? I feel like I'm shuffling to get to these cards, but I'm feeling like I'm supposed to talk about different, like I want to use the word appearances. Like what growth looks like on the outside, okay? So it's like they're having me focus on all these trees, and I'm looking at literally like 4 different species of trees at minimum that I'm noticing. And they're all tall, they're all green, they all have leaves. Okay, different formations, different lengths, textures, and color schemes. But they definitely have all grown because they're all really tall. But they're all different as well. Same species, excuse me, same element, different appearances. Same species, different appearances. Okay. But it doesn't mean one didn't grow and the other one did. They've all grown, it just looks different. And if we can make that, if we could put that into more like practical human terms, language stuff, it's like y'all ain't been through the same thing. So what may have been a challenge for me may not have been your challenge. And so you don't have that as a point of start point for growth. It's not something that you're burdened by or challenged with or aspire to. And so it's like, just because your walk, your journey looks like its own thing and somebody else's journey looks like different, their walk looks different, the areas in which they've had to grow looks different than yours. It's like they're giving it's like I'm feeling like there's a need for us to acknowledge. It's like on a fundamental level, you don't know somebody else's story. You don't know where they are in their growth process. Some people are in the before stage of their growth process. Okay. They wanted me to say like your growing process. Okay. Some people are in the before. They're not in the during yet. Okay. And there's some things that you are in the after of that some people are in the during, that you got to account for their growth from the before. So practical language. It's given like, if you got beef with somebody, if you're irritated by how somebody moves, talks, functions, lives their life, it's for you to account for where they are in their process. And not from a point of judgment or criticism, but understanding. It's like perspective and understanding. It really is empathy. That's how you get to things like compassion and empathy. When you can account for, if this is where they are now, then before it was probably different. Okay? And some of you may say, well, some people as they evolve, they don't always evolve into higher vibrational beings. That's true. They say sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. Sometimes people are in their hella before stage and they're grown, but they're still in their before stage in a lot of places in their life. Okay. Whew. Okay, but this energy, this message, this piece of the message feels like accountability to us, knowing that the version of people that we see outside of ourselves, okay, ourselves are included, but we be looking outward at the world. We're not just looking, some of us don't even look inward, but we just be looking out, right? It's like accounting for what you see in terms of stages. And when you see immature behavior, you got to remember what stage they're in. Because even if they're in there before, that means they still have potential to grow. Potential. Okay, we all know what that word means. It means it's like the essence of an energy unmanifested yet. It's not manifested yet. Okay? This message is like an energy of like, y'all gotta fucking let people make it, knowing that they are in their before, or maybe in their growing phase, the doing of the work in order to evolve into the next version of themselves. The next. Okay? So you want that grace for yourself. You know you're not perfect. You know you got shit to work on that you're not even touching right now. You're not even putting your attention over there. Don't you think that shows up in how people relate to you? Shit you're not even focused on working on that you know you probably need to get better at in life, but it's like you just distracted. You got other shit to do. I don't need to deal with this trust issue. I got other shit to do. And then meanwhile, you out here trying to have relationships and friendships and romance and all the kind of shit, and you haven't dealt with the trust. All right, we getting red. We getting red for filth. Okay, let me catch up on these comments. All right. Our growth journey is different, can't compare. Each plant requires different things, different soil, some acid, neutral. Come on. My little botanist is in the house. Come on. Hey, honey. A spectrum requires not all growth are linear. Learning from my garden, of course. Can't compare the yield of a blueberry plant. Come on. Come on. Sorry, I'm late. This has probably been here for a long time. Let me catch up. Come on. And if y'all listen to these morning messages and you can't see the chat, it's probably good if you watch it on the laptop so you can see the chats also when you watch it back if you don't watch it live. But my girl is saying, can't compare the yield of a blueberry plant that needs acidic soil to that of a blackberry who is slower in growth and requires neutral soil. And the funny thing, that the blackberry will be bigger than the blueberry. Slower growth, bigger yield. Hello. I'm here for it. Whew. Because me and Vic share a brain, she says, come on. Yeah, they're out there doing their thing right now. I love it. All right. Dropping gems up in this mug. What's up, Becca? Okay, so I need some water. Hold on. And I'll just show you my cuff and my ring again. On my way out. Shout out to Goddess Gang, whoever that is. It's my thrifted tee. I cut it up. Isn't it cute though? And I'm gonna show you something else, and then I'm gonna go get me some water. I cut this t-shirt to where I can take the sleeves and punch them in, so it's like pocket. It's not a pocket though. Gang, gang. Isn't that cute? Okay, don't look at that. Don't look at those, okay? I eat good and I live well. Okay. All right, I'll be back. I need some water. Okay. All right. Happy to help. Oh, girl. Okay. Where is the YouTube channel? Becca, where is the YouTube channel? I need all of my educations, okay? Because I know you, girl. You's a teacher. You's a teacher and a reacher. Okay. We are talking about growth. Growth of anything is a process. Stages. Where are you? Okay, so the question of where are you is an introspective question. It makes you have to check in, tap in, tune in, assess, and then proceed. It makes you have to check in, tap in with yourself, like, okay. And like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about yourself and growth? Okay, what area of your life immediately comes to the forefront? In what way are you or do you need to grow or have you grown? Okay, three-part Three-pronged question. What's the first area of your life that came to mind when I said the word growth? Think about yourself and your growth. What's the first thing that came to mind? So for me, the first thing that comes to mind is my emotional intelligence. Yeah, my emotional intelligence has grown substantially. My self-awareness has grown. Being able to turn that mirror back and just really kind of watch myself almost like out of body as I engage people in the world and myself. And it's not perfect, but I know I'm way more intentional about it. So I'm more aware. I'm more self-aware. And that self-awareness has allowed me to better self-regulate. And so, yeah. And I'm not where I used to be, and I'm still doing the work to continue to evolve to the next version of myself. That's what comes to mind for me. It's showing up in my ability to develop relationship here in the Ricas. Those of you who don't know, I live in Costa Rica, part-time, full-time, part-time. I'm not an expat. That language doesn't resonate. I have not expatriated from the United States. I just vacation for really long, extended periods of time. Where was this going? What's the first thing that came to your mind when you think about your personal growth? Where are you at in your process? Each plant requires that self-awareness, knowing the type of light, water, I'm sure that is seeds, water needs, pollinations, pests, sowing, but also through the process pruning what no longer serves its purposes. Ashe, the refinement in it all. Yes. Gotta prune the dead branches. Gotta use those falling leaves as compost, as lessons. Come on now. Come on. Getting value out of what is dead. Releasing what no longer serves. I don't know where this accent is coming from. Oh, don't drop so many cards, but we do want that one. All right, so let's continue these messages. I do absolutely love all of the plants. You know, I'm in the jungle, so I love all the plant analogy. It is all very appropriate. There's so many parallels to the human experience in terms of complexity of need in order to grow. There's so much, I'm sure we'll unpack that another day, or maybe that's what's now loading since I'm moving in that direction. But it's a very complex process to grow, to move from each stage to the next, okay? When we talk about, quote, doing the work, that has a lot of layers to it in and of itself, okay? Because whatever the, quote, work is gonna vary from person to person to person. There's no one thing. It's like doing the work is the one broad stroke we can all hold on to, but what that work looks like individually to get from one stage to the next is going to be very nuanced. It's going to be very person-centered, very much contingent upon your past and your present ability and willingness to do things differently. It's like you can't get to somewhere different in yourself if you don't do something different. Think something different, do something different, say something different, be something different. You know, you gotta show up different somewhere. There's got to be a difference. You got to make a difference. Do something different, okay? You wonder, how do I move? How do I grow? Okay, we're doing deductive reasoning. How do I grow? Yes, engage in the process that has steps and move through them, da, 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 da. But you got to be willing to do something different. That's essential to the process, is to do something different. Okay? Something different. If you are not growing, there's got to be a change to something. As we're talking about all those different complexities of what it takes to grow a plant, you're no different. You have a lot of complexity. Your growth may need you to release something. It may need you to choose something. It may need you to start showing up somewhere or hanging out with somebody or not hanging out with somebody. Your growth may require you to relocate or get a divorce or change your job. Your growth may require you to get into a pool and learn how to swim for the first time. Your growth may require you to face your fear. It's like you got to do something. Something. And I'm hearing like anything. Do something. Anything different. Literally. If you do anything, the smallest of a thing different, you're going to experience difference. Think of something well, yeah, that's not, anyways. I'm going to back out of that. All right. Let me get into these cards. I'm feeling called to this bottom deck here. I mean, the bottom of the deck. It says practical daily spirituality. Okay. Practical daily spiritual, I say practical, practicing, excuse me. Practicing daily spirituality. Okay, so this is a collective message. We're all here listening to it, myself included. And these are this is giving me the what we need to be doing. What does the work look like for us collectively? Anybody that's listening now or catches this on the replay, this is the work, okay? Today is the day that you start the work, okay? Or today is the day you feel affirmed in the work you're already doing. But the cards are here, so it's given like there's a need to amplify, or maybe it's a need to make yourself aware of what you're already doing. Some of us are doing work we're not even noticing or giving ourselves, quote, credit for. You're being more patient. You're being more generous. You're being more kind. You're being more attentive. You're being more loving. You're practicing more compassion. You're doing things that you're not even noticing that you're doing already. That is a part of your work so that you become the next version. Okay? Woo, hold on. If y'all like my jewelry, you can DM me or tap in with the Aura of Essence. The Aura of Essence. This is so fucking fly. And I really love the set, honestly. So much. You can best believe I'm not going to wear anything I don't like. And I really support her craft because she does really amazing, elegant, beautiful work. This is just some of the low-key stuff. She actually works with crystals and all kinds of stuff. So, y'all stay tuned. Just trying to support the homies. That's it. I had to dig this crystal up, Al. This is citrine. I was like, damn, I forgot I had this. Okay. Practicing daily spirituality. Okay, as I'm talking about intentional jewelry and crystals, that's what crystals are for, is to set intentions, okay? That is to set intentions, and that's a great daily practice, to set intentions. Set intentions for your day. If you don't wake up and declare what kind of day you want to have, your day is at the whim of any and everybody's bullshit that you come across. You're just a sponge ready to pick up fuck shit because you haven't set an intention of like peace, protection, calm, ease, flow, harmony, alignment. Okay? Like, you gotta speak it, bring it, be it, okay? So we're talking about spirituality. That's what we're talking about, is getting to the essence of what you want to connect with, the energy you want to connect with in your day. So I don't know what your daily routines include in your morning or in your, well, I know what your morning include. Hey. But you know what I mean. I don't know what else y'all be doing. If you drink a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, you write in your journal, you meditate, you breathe, you exercise, or all of the above, I recommend. And affirming yourself, add to the list, okay? But developing daily spiritual development practices that help you connect with yourself on a deeper level, okay? To practice self-awareness, to engage in self-discovery and self-affirmation and self-love, like to practice compassion and empathy, to affirm yourself, to ground yourself. You know, it's like if these aren't daily habits, okay, you're making it more difficult for yourself to grow, okay? Because these are the habits that help you let go. It helps you let in, okay? It helps you allow. It helps you practice non-resistance. It helps you practice patience and presence. That's what all of these little things do. When you set intentions with intentional jewelry and like crystals, I usually have on some bracelets that I've gotten along and all over the years. It's like these are reminders of how I want to move my energy. They're placeholders for what I want to be focused on. It's not about just the magic and the woo. And I got some crystals that have real blazing energy beaming from them. Like I can't even hold it for too long because it is so freaking powerful. So there is something to the power of the crystal, but I'm talking about it being a placeholder for a mindset that you want to let in, cultivate, grow, be reminded of. Okay? It's all the things. So use whatever tools make sense to you, whatever resonates for you. But the card says practice daily spirituality. Okay? It might be just breathing for an intentional amount of time, sitting in stillness. It might include a movement meditation like yoga. It might include a movement meditation like Tai Chi or Qigong. It might include any number of strategies like sitting out in nature, staring at the treetop, listening to the birds, staring at the waves. It's about however you commune with yourself, your higher self, beyond your thinking mind, beyond it. All these tools take you beyond just thought and observation. It takes you into consciousness. When you move with intention, that means you are mindfully aware, doing on purpose. ING, on purpose, doing on purpose, okay? So this is how you grow. That was a bad note, okay? So let's see, I have some really interesting cards in front of me. This one we've seen, or I've seen. Okay, so card says offering my gifts. We're talking about how do you grow. This card has a lot of different images and stuff. I forget whose deck this is. But I always love the messages. The messages are dope. And the pictures you get high and start looking at these pictures, you're going to be going places. I would imagine. But this card says, offering my gifts. Okay. We're talking about how do you grow? What's the difference that you need to be making in this season? Okay. Offering my gifts, and I'm really drawn to what looks like a third, it's not an eye, but it looks like a third eye, okay? 1, 2, 3, okay? That intuitive ability that you have, psychic superpowers, that just kind of knowing of how to do things intuitively and naturally without knowing how you really know so well. You just be knowing, okay? Those gifts, okay? It's really the age of the light worker, okay? I know some of y'all have been real hard in the matrix and real programmed to think that life is a certain way. And then some of you have actually given mindful awareness to the fact that this is not all there is. And you have a knowing that it supersedes just your casual thought process. It's like it's instinct. It's gut level instinct. It's intuitive. It's like, I don't know. It's just what I feel. It's just what I think. It's just what I would guess. And they're like, yes, you're right. It's like we all have this kind of ability that you see me showing up in. You all have this, okay? And those of you who are literally in earshot of this message, and I loved this energy because I also feel male energy. I know there are females in our presence, but I feel male energy. I feel like male wizard kind of energy. And I love that. It's like not just, we know women have intuition, women's intuition. We use that language often, frequently, right? Unconsciously, we use that language. We don't talk about men's intuition. Men have intuition too. Oh yeah, they're conditioned as hell, all far away from it. Man, that plant reminds me of my childhood, like real hard, because my mom had one of those plants.
Really?
Like really. Is he gonna come back from the depths of despair? Okay, let me show the people since this is analogous. What is the word? Analogous? There's an analogy in this.
Put her in some water.
So Vic,
to give her some more time to sprout some.
Vic is working on her green thumb. Okay, so she brought this plant by me, and I was like, oh my gosh, you heard what I just said? My mom had one of these. Like I specifically remember this stalk and all the things. And this is going to be a wonderful demonstration because you seem to feel like you can restore this.
I think so. I see she's got some little roots here.
She does.
She's trying. I'm going to put her on water to give her some chance to actually get these roots to sprout more fresh roots before I put her in dirt.
So what stage do we think this is? What stage of growth might we guess this is?
Beginning. She needs some TLC.
All right.
Some love. Here's the thing. I gotta be gentle with her. She's been through a lot. Seriously. I got this from the jungle. This is not like a plant that I bought. I got it from the jungle. She's been unhomed. And so I'm trying to give her a new sense of
safety and security.
And so I gotta be gentle. And I think water is easier for her to sprout her roots than it is to have to push through dirt. So I'm gonna give her a new beginning. Now, Rebecca, it's Rebecca,
I'm gonna give her a
right?
new beginning.
Jade is Rebecca.
Yeah.
Same thing. Rebecca, you want to give me some of your advice?
All right, y'all gonna take this offline. Yeah, we deep into the analogy though. We in it.
I'm just saying.
We are in it.
She can tell me on there real quick. She been talking the whole time.
She can tell me on live real quick. Oh shit. Where'd she drop it? She said, damn. Why'd she drop it? Good God Almighty. Hilariousness. That is so funny. Rebecca, can you text Vic on WhatsApp and let her know what she need to be doing in life? Okay. Unless the class wants to hear. I mean, feel free to do your thing here. I don't care. Okay, let me recover. Y'all too much. Offering my gifts is the card. Okay. We're talking about growth, and Rebecca is being called out to offer her gifts of horticulture. Is it, what is that? Yeah, horticulture. As we're talking about offering gifts, intuitive gifts, the knowing that you just have, that you know without really knowing how you know all the time. It's just a knowing. I love that. Crystal says, y'all crack me up. Girl, You have no freaking idea. It's like we need to be in like a Big Brother house that has a camera in the corner because the cackles that happen in these four walls is just stupid. Daily cackles. I know our neighbors probably think we crazy because we be in here screaming. Screaming. Okay, this card says, oh shit, we get serious. Let me tighten up. Okay, hold on. Let me match the energy. This shit's, hold on. We talk about growing. I gotta clean the camera lens. Damn, I should do that a long time ago. That was a big difference. Hey, y'all. Why y'all let me have this fuzzy ass camera lens this whole time? Y'all know it's like crystal clear now. Okay. So by the way, I have a 3-card spread, and that confronting inner demons card is showing up in the middle of the spread. Oh, I should do this sometime, huh? I kind of like that. It's showing this, the card that shows up in the middle is the challenge. And so we're talking about growing, huh? We are talking about growing and confronting inner demons. Whew, Lord. Whew, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. So you see it's blowing my wig back. Oof. Okay, so it's the message that's coming in. Blowing my wig back. So let me brace. So, okay, listen, y'all. Okay, so I'm trying to find a nice way to say this because it feels a little bit rude. Okay, the energy is coming a little bit rude, and it's too early for that. So, you know, when we talk about inner demons, okay, we can use the words shadow work or inner child healing. It might look like forgiveness work, something like that. Okay, we'll mix those words in because I know people hear the word demon and then their ears shut off and don't process stuff in real time. So when I say inner demons, that's what I'm talking about. Inner child wounds, shadow wounds and hurts, mommy issues, daddy wounds, all the things that make up the dark side of who we are and the challenges we are working to overcome or needing to overcome. This card is actually showing up in the challenge. There's more work to be done, folks. Okay. You may say, well, I've gone to therapy about that thing and I journaled about this other thing and I, you know, asked for forgiveness about that other thing over there. So I'm, quote, done. No. Okay. This isn't, okay. Remember the ing? Even when you feel like you get to a next place, again, you've done the work, right? You're doing the work and then it's done. So now you're at the next place. You start over. Now you're at the before of a next version of yourself. It's ongoing. It don't stop. It is a continual process. Growth, if you want it, remember, you got to be willing. You got to give a fuck. You got to want to. Okay, do the work. Okay, you're doing the work. You get to a next place. You start over. Some of us think, remember I talked about those hard-headed people and be like, no, I've dealt with that. Okay, dealt means you're after dealing. Now you're on to the next level of growth if you care to, want to. Okay, so this message is here for all of us. We all stand to hear this